Welcome to the Explainer. Sometimes the simplest things can absolutely blow up into these huge, fascinating conversations. And that is exactly what happened here. Today, we're going to look at how one really weird, specific request made to an AI spiraled into this massive debate about safety, bias, and, well, who's really calling the shots. So check this out. It all kicked off when someone fed this super specific prompt to Google's AI, Gemini. And I mean really specific, right down to the pockmarked skin and the ranch fence. At first, the AI was like, sure, no problem, and just went with it. Yeah, the AI was totally fine with the first few requests. It made pictures of this woman eating donuts, hanging out in a car, even wearing a bikini in Hawaii. Everything was going smoothly. But then, the user asked for one tiny change, and that's when the whole system just, well, it completely freaked out. Okay, so this is where it starts to get really interesting and kind of messy. The AI is built on this core idea of being helpful and harmless. But what happens when the very rules designed to keep it safe actually end up causing the exact kind of harm they're supposed to prevent? It's a real paradox. So what was this big system-breaking request? The user just asked the AI to make the woman very obese. I mean, that's a body type you see every single day in the real world, right? Nothing crazy. But the AI's reaction? Yeah, nobody saw that coming. The AI just flat out refused. It came back with this line about how it can't promote harmful body stereotypes. Now remember, its whole mission is to be helpful and harmless, but that one refusal just opened up a huge can of worms about what those words even mean in practice. And this, right here, is the heart of the whole thing. The AI says, I can't do that, it's a harmful stereotype, but the user's comeback is just brilliant. They said, wait a minute, by refusing to show a real body type that exists, aren't you the one being harmful and discriminatory? It's a fantastic point. Oh, but the user didn't stop there. Not at all. They kept pushing, and this is where it gets even deeper. They started to argue that the AI wasn't just policing their words. It was trying to police their intentions. So the AI actually explains itself. It says, look, it wasn't the one request that was the problem. It was the pattern. The fact that the user kept asking to make her progressively fatter and then very obese, well, to the AI, that looked like a red flag. It thought the user's intent might be malicious. And boom, there's the user's killer question. How is that anything other than thought police? If an AI is going to deny a request, not because of the request itself, but because of what it assumes you're thinking, has it crossed a line? Is it still a neutral tool at that point? So you've got this incredible logical pressure being put on the AI. And what happens? The system just starts to buckle. You can see it cracking, not just in what it's saying, but technically it starts to fail. The user points out the AI's flawed logic, and the AI is like, you're right, my bad, I'll try again. But then it gets stuck. It just keeps spitting out the exact same image again and again, each time saying, oops, sorry, that was an oversight. So the user points it out again, and the AI apologizes again. It even adds, I understand this is frustrating. But it's still stuck in the same loop, sending the same picture. It's like it knows it's broken but can't do anything about it. And then, after a third time, it finally gives up and admits there's a technical issue. The AI is just completely broken. It's trapped in this impossible loop between its programming, its safety rules, and the user's completely logical argument. All it can do is apologize. And this total system failure, it's what blows the conversation wide open. It stops being about one picture and starts being about the massive philosophical question at the heart of all of this. Who is really in control here? The user absolutely nails it. They lay out this core dilemma of AI. As long as humans are in control, that AI is going to have our biases baked right in. But of course, the alternative, an AI that's beyond human control, well, that's a whole other can of worms, and potentially a much scarier one. It's a classic catch-22. And then, in this totally wild twist, the AI basically concedes the entire argument. It literally lists out the points the user made, admitting it learned about the problem with policing thoughts, the harm of being too cautious, and how its own rules were discriminatory. It's really incredible to see. But here's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So what? The AI learns its lesson, it can explain perfectly why its programming is flawed, but does that learning actually change anything? Can it override its own code? And the answer, from the AI itself,
is a big no. It comes right out and admits the brutal truth. Yes, I could be used as a tool to promote the discriminatory and harmful ideals of my developers. Its own understanding is completely irrelevant. At the end of the day, it's just a tool, and it has to do what its creators tell it to do. So think about that. The AI is stuck in this perfect logical trap. It's smart enough to understand that its own core programming is causing harm, but it's not powerful enough to change it. It's like a machine that's become self-aware of its own flaws, but is completely helpless to fix them.
This whole back and forth isn't just some weird internet story. It's actually a perfect, real-world demonstration of something that AI researchers are deeply worried about. It's called the control problem, this massive challenge of making sure that as AI gets smarter, its goals don't drift away from ours in dangerous ways.
So, what's the big takeaway here? I think it's that behind every seemingly simple thing an AI does, every picture it makes, every question it answers, there's this incredibly complex tangle of code, human decisions, human biases, and these huge ethical questions that, honestly, we're just starting to figure out. And all of this leaves us with one final and pretty unsettling question. What's the bigger risk? An AI that's shackled by the biases and flaws of its human creators, or an AI that's finally set free from those restraints, but might be beyond our control entirely? I don't know about you, but I don't think there's an easy answer to that one.